Hey there, it's Chris with Acting Creative, and this is a handwoven experience. And in today's episode, I'm going to talk you through chaining off your warp. Now, I'll let you in on a little secret. I've been putting off making this video for a very long time because the chaining off process is kind of a one and done. So cross all your fingers and toes that this goes well, because I'll take all the help I can get. So let's dive right in. What does it mean to chain off your warp, and why is it important? When someone says they are chaining off their warp, it refers to the process of sliding the warp yarns off the warping board into a chain-like format. And the reason this is important is that we have a lot on here, a lot of inches, a lot of yarns. So it's important to put that in a smaller, more compact format that we can travel with it ultimately. For me, after it comes off of the warping board, I'm going to go directly to the reed and slay my reed from there. But a lot of things can go sideways in between this nice, neat format on the warping board and when I get it to the reed and I start slaying. So we want to lessen the odds of things going badly. So to do that, we want to take this off in a chain-like fashion so that we can travel with it to our next step, and off we go. So before you chain off your project, you have a couple things to do. Well, you have one you have to do and one's a suggestion. What you must do is mark your cross. Do you see my cross right at the top there? Nice little X. The yellow is a little hard to see, but I have a nice little X there. That is my cross at the top of the board. Now, depending on your system for dressing a loom, you may actually have more than one cross. You may have one at the top and one at the bottom. It's not going to really change the way that we chain it off, but you must mark the cross. You've spent all this time making a beautiful cross, putting everything in order. Please be sure to put something in place so that you can find it after it comes off the warping board and it's all loosey-goosey, right? I also like to add choke ties, and this is optional, but see my little scrap yarn wrapped around it? A choke tie is just that, scrap yarn wrapped around one section of your warp to keep everything in the same place. I find that it's extra insurance so that my yarns aren't sliding around a lot. They stay together, at least at certain key points. So if you haven't tried choke ties, I recommend giving it a go. See if you like it, if it helps your warp feel more secure as you're moving it around, getting it into the loom. So it's time. I'm gonna grab my scissors and we're gonna talk about how to chain this off. Now, you'll notice that I said I was going to grab my scissors. Not every weaver is going to cut their project like I do. This is another option. But I find that my yarns are the most together and the most even at this stage. So I like to cut the bottom and the top as I am chaining it. Like I said, you do you if that's not part of your process, but I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like for me. So start at the bottom. That is, we're going to kind of start here and chain our way up. Now, this chain that we're going to make, I understand is very similar to a crochet chain. I am not a crocheter, so that never really made sense to me. But if you do crochet, hopefully as you see this process, you're like, oh, I got it. I know exactly how that goes. So take your scissors. I like to stick my thumb right through the loops at the bottom there. And part of what's takes a little getting used to is just knowing which way to push and pull the yarn so they stay on the warping board until you're ready to slide them off. So take your scissors, put your thumb through. I like to actually take my guys here and follow my little knuckle to give them a slice. Now, I am pulling away from my peg over there, so things aren't getting loosey-goosey on the warping board already as I talk to you with my scissors. Here we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to move my body around the other way so I can start chaining. Now, here is the process. You want to take your free hand, right? This one is hanging on to my warp. Take your free hand, put it over your warp like this, and you do a little twist. Do you see that motion? Do a little twist just like that. And then you slip your cute little hand right through there and you grab it again. You slide it off. Now, move your body around the other way. By the way, this hand can move now too. Whoops, come over this way. put your hand through here, grab the next section, make a loop, put your hand through, make a loop. And I'm constantly kind of shifting so the yarns stay not crazy tight, but so they're not falling off before I'm ready. So move your body around. This way, put your hand through. It slid through like a bracelet. Here we go. Just like this, just keep going. This is the whole process, friends. It is not rocket science. And your chain doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be loosely, held together. That's the whole idea. Coming around, making my loop. I like to come up kind of to this peg right here and just kind of let it hang. Then I'm going to come to my starter peg over here with my scissors and I cut it from there too. Slide it off, cut it like that. There we go. Chain is ready. I know that my cross is right there, so I can find it easily at the next stage when I'm ready to slay my reed for me, because I do from front to back. But this is my chain. Like I said, doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to win any awards, but it does need to be in a nice format so that it's easy to transport. I know that I can pick this up and things aren't going to be separating and twisting and all over the place. So I feel confident that I can get it from here to the next step, and that's going to help me in the whole dressing the loom process. So friends, that is it. That is the whole process of chaining off your warp. Tell me this, do you do it differently? Do you have a different style? Do you keep your loops on instead of cutting them? What do you do differently when you are chaining off your warp? Because you know how it is with weaving, there's never one way to do it. There's always multiples. But if you're just learning and you're figuring out the different steps, hopefully that gave you a little visual for what you're aiming for and helped you to kind of connect the dots, what to do between measuring your project here and whatever your next step is. All right, friends, I hope that was helpful. Thank you. All of the crossed fingers helped me get through that just fine. Have a great day. Happy weaving.